A warm welcome to First Move. Here is today's Need to Know. Emotional ceremonies. Israel marks 1 year since the Hamas terror attacks, and its military operations continue in Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon. You failed. Families of hostages hold their own ceremony in protest against the Israeli government. Evacuate now. Florida residents in the path of Category 5 Hurricane Milton are ordered to leave. It comes as the cleanup from Hurricane Helene has barely begun. Plus, the Satoshi Suspects, a new documentary, drills down on the mystery creator of Bitcoin. All that and much more coming up. But first, a somber day in Israel on the first anniversary of the October 7th attacks. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited a monument to the victims in Jerusalem. Some 1,200 people were killed. Gaza officials say Israel's military response has killed 41,000 people. And Israel has entered into a new war with Hezbollah in Lebanon. It comes as critics accuse the government of not doing enough to save the 100 hostages still held by Hamas. This was the scene in Jerusalem earlier. Families of Israeli hostages literally sounding the alarm outside Mr. Netanyahu's residence. They're urging authorities to bring their loved ones home. And the violence is continuing tonight. A short while ago, the Israeli military said 5 projectiles had been launched from Lebanon into Israel. Our Erin Burnett is in Tel Aviv and she joins us now live. Good to have you with us, Erin. So as Israel marked the 1-year anniversary of the Hamas terror attacks, it was under the blare of the air raid sirens once again. Hezbollah launching a new round of missiles and rockets. What more can you tell us?
Well, Lynda, you know, where we were, actually, we were on live television when it happened. Myself and our colleague, Nick Robertson, we started to see the interceptors go up from the David Sling, which is the interceptors that the Israeli use for missile defense for some of the ballistic missiles that come in, longer range missiles. Those missiles were coming from Hezbollah in Lebanon. There were about 5 of them very close to where we are. And in fact, this perhaps the busiest day for missile attacks on Tel Aviv from all fronts that we've seen since this war began, because you had missiles coming today 3 different times with sirens. We had them coming from Hamas in Gaza, and then, as I mentioned, those ballistic missiles coming from Hezbollah in the north, and then also from the east, ballistic missiles coming from the Houthis in Yemen. At one point, Lynda, the entire city of Tel Aviv was lit up in alerts for a possible incoming missile. So that tension laid on top of what was such a somber day of grief here, where families, as you said, were grieving. And of course, you mentioned those 97 hostages who were taken a year ago who are still in Gaza. Some of them are dead. Many of them are alive. So close, families, it's almost as if they can touch them from a distance, 40 miles or so, and yet they have no idea even tonight if they are dead or alive.
Yeah, it really is horrific. 1 year on, still so many answers. And of course, as you were mentioning, the front lines have expanded in every direction right now. But of course, we're thinking about the families today and the friends who pay tribute to those who lost their lives, but also those who still haven't come home. Just talk to us more about the feeling there today.
Yes, so we went tonight, Lynda, to Hostage Square, which is, a place of memoriam. There's actually a tunnel that has been constructed there with audio of gunshots and stomping boots. And you go in it, it's an installation, but it is, you can feel how constrictive it is, just sort of a moment of touching an unbelievable horror that is being experienced now for a full year for many who perhaps have not even seen the light. An incomprehensible thing, and families there were gathering. There was a formal memorial there tonight. We were with more than 2,000 people. I'd say perhaps it could have been 3,000 people gathering. So many tears, so much mourning by family and friends. And where we were, members of the Israeli public who showed up. There were going to be, Lynda, 40,000 people who were scheduled to attend. But because Israel is obviously imminently about to strike Iran under attack, the rules were changed and they were only allowed to have a few thousand people come. But even so, you could feel, it was a palpable feeling of grief and frustration, and also, of course, outrage that there are still these hostages in Gaza as this war has expanded now to Lebanon and Hezbollah and to Iran as well.
Erin, Burnett, we appreciate you being there for us in Tel Aviv on the one-year anniversary of the Hamas terror attacks. Thanks so much. We will be tuning into your show later tonight.